If you enter this world knowing you are loved and you leave this world knowing the same, then everything that happens in between can be dealt. It was June 25th, 2009. This date became historical as the day when the king of pop music, the idol of millions, Michael Jackson, passed away. It was a tragedy for an enormous number of fans from all over the world. 31 million people watched the TV broadcast of the funeral in the USA. The most popular performer was only 50 years old at the time of his death. What happened? Who was responsible for Michael Jackson's death, and could this have been avoided? Today, you will find out everything on Biographer Express. Are you ready? Let's get started. In fact, there were a lot of tragic events that happened to him long before that fateful morning in June that led to Michael Jackson's death. We need to rewind 40 years to understand everything. Michael Jackson starred in a Pepsi commercial in 1984. The smoke bomb detonated by mistake next to him, and as a result, the musician had head burns. Michael had to undergo the surgery to restore the skin, and of course, the treatment included strong painkillers. After 2 years, he needed pills again. The artist had a relapse of lupus, an autoimmune disease that damages connective tissue. Powerful medications prescribed to Michael by a doctor led to the musician's addiction to painkillers. The performer suffered not only from physical pain, but also from psychological problems in 1993. The artist was sued on charges of child molestation. Humiliation, endless interrogations, and loud headlines terribly influenced Jackson. He agreed to use analgesics, diazepam, alprazolam, and lorazepam to somehow reduce the level of stress. The case was settled, but Michael's reputation was badly damaged, and his psyche at that moment was already severely shattered. Jackson became addicted to antidepressants, began to suffer from insomnia, and took sleeping pills in large quantities. But the end of the artist's suffering did not come. The singer fell from a great height and injured his spine at a charity concert in Munich in 1999. To be fair, Michael finished the interrupted song and then performed another one before going to the hospital. Most of the fans generally thought that the fall of the scenery was part of the show. The artist suffered from terrible back pain from that moment, which he complained about until his death. Doctors prescribed him a strong painkiller called Demerol. This drug is effective but has many side effects. It was administered with the help of droppers because in this way there is less likelihood of addiction. Michael began to take Demerol tablets after some time because the pain was really unbearable. That went so far that he was forced to be treated in a private clinic for drug addiction. Jackson left the hospital after completing the course in full confidence that he was finished with Demerol once and for all. He broke down after a short period of time. The singer again began to pop a huge amount of pills. There was another accusation of molesting minors in 2003 through 2005. The artist went through stress, camera flashes, reporters under the windows, and court hearings again. There were also more drugs.
I'm tired. I'm really, really tired of the manipulation. I'm tired of how the press is manipulating everything that's been happening in this situation. They do not tell the truth. They're liars.
It is said that during the 2005 trial, Michael was already taking 40 Vicodin tablets a day. Doctors often wrote out prescriptions for the names of his assistants and a certain Omar Adams, a man invented by Michael whom he called his second self. People who knew Michael Jackson described him in different ways in the last years of his life. Some said that Jackson was happier than ever. Meanwhile, others described a man whose health was deteriorating due to drug addiction. Photos of the musician in a wheelchair appeared in the media in 2008. The pop king wanted to go out of the stage with a bang, even despite his health problems. Jackson remained a huge person in the musical field in 2009. The years of active musical activity were left behind. His last album sold quite well, though it was back in 2001. It would seem that the old albums brought good money, but it could hardly cover Michael's expenses. Courts, constant trials, and a lot of spending on a luxurious life led him to the moment when there was no money left. Then, Jackson was offered to hold a series of 10 concerts at London's O2 Arena, which would allow him to secure the future of his children. Hysteria broke out on the planet as soon as the news of this spread, since everyone wanted to see the King of Pop show. The promoters increased the number of concerts to 50. The news delighted everyone except Michael because he had not gone on tour for a long time and was not physically ready for such a marathon. But the artist agreed, on the condition that he could be provided with a personal doctor who would monitor his health. Michael Jackson met the cardiologist Conrad Murray. The date of the first concert was approaching. Michael, who always meticulously approached every detail of his performance, was very nervous. He wanted everything to be perfect. "I'm never pleased with anything. I'm a perfectionist. It's part of who I am." There were more and more rehearsals, and Jackson, experiencing stress and suffering from insomnia, increased the number of painkillers and sleeping pills consumed. The doctor tried to wean him, but the situation constantly worsened. The moral and physical condition of Michael affected and increased his fear of death. There is an opinion that in the last years of his life, Michael Jackson suffered from persecution mania and was sure that somebody wanted to kill him. According to Jackson's bodyguard, who worked with him until the last day, Jackson even thought about going on stage in a bulletproof vest. Michael Jackson took 8 different drugs a day, strong painkillers, antidepressants, and other medications, including those with narcotic effects. Subsequently, an autopsy showed that the singer had been in an extreme stage of exhaustion in the last months. There was not a single hint of food in his stomach, but a decent amount of painkillers was found. According to the nutritionist and registered nurse Sherilyn Lee, who worked with the artist while he was preparing to return to the stage, Jackson's assistant contacted her on June 21st. He stated that Michael wanted to see her immediately. She asked what happened and heard Jackson's voice in the background. He said that one side of his body was hot, the other cold, and he felt very bad. Lee advised the singer to go to the hospital. As the nurse was sure, on the same day, someone gave him some kind of drug that affects the central nervous system. The singer never went to the hospital. The singer was in a rented house in the west of Los Angeles on the morning of June 25, 2009. The artist's doctor, Conrad Murray, gave him an injection of Propofol and left him. He found Michael Jackson on the bed with his eyes and mouth wide open 2 hours later and tried to resuscitate him. However, the attempts were unsuccessful. Murray decided to call an ambulance after 5 or 10 minutes, but there was no landline phone in the bedroom and the doctor could not call on a cell phone because he did not know the address of Jackson's house. 30 minutes passed while Murray was looking for a security guard to call emergency services from his phone. Those minutes turned out to be fatal for Jackson. The doctors arrived very quickly and they took various stimulus measurements for 45 minutes. Then, the artist was taken to the hospital. Unfortunately, time was lost and Michael Jackson could not be saved. Michael Jackson died at 2:26 p.m. Western American Time. Tito Jackson could not stop trembling when he was told about the death of his brother. He only repeated, "Michael is gone. Michael is gone."
I can breathe, I can eat, I can die in my sleep. You're always there in my dream. I don't want to die in my sleep. But it's a song, right?
It was announced on August 25th that the death of the King of Pop, Michael Jackson, was due to an overdose of the powerful painkiller Propofol. Propofol is usually used only in hospitals under the supervision of a trained anesthesiologist who constantly monitors the patient's heart rate and breathing while he is unconscious during surgery. This drug can cause fatal side effects. "This is way off the chart," said Vesna Mraz, a former Los Angeles deputy district attorney. "This is not even FDA approved for insomnia. It is not a sleep aid. You look at, what is this stuff? It's an anesthetic agent that is used to put somebody under, basically knock them unconscious. So in other words, it would be like using a hammer to kill an ant." Conrad Murray was the main suspect in the death of the singer. According to experts, he made several gross mistakes in the treatment of Jackson. In addition to the irresponsible use of Propofol, the cardiologist called an ambulance with a considerable delay, did not keep a record of the drugs taken by the singer, and also did not try to find out the reasons why Jackson suffered from insomnia. Conrad Murray was convicted of the manslaughter of Michael Jackson on November 29, 2011, and sentenced to 4 years in prison. Some loyal fans could not come to the terms with the death of an idol. Therefore, they came up with theories according to which Michael Jackson is actually alive. According to a popular hypothesis, the performer imitated his death to get rid of annoying paparazzi, his scandalous image, and a load of debt. The facts and arguments in favor of the theory are given that after his death, the videos from the surveillance cameras from the Jackson mansion disappeared and his coffin was closed. They also say that among the personal belongings of the King of Pop, a diary was found in which he described his desire to fake his death. There were rumors that Michael was even seen getting out of a van in which his supposedly dead body was being transported. Another wave of rumors began in 2016 when the daughter of the musician Paris Jackson published a selfie from a car in which the fans imagined the King of Pop himself in the back seat. The fans decided that Paris showed the world that her father was alive. Paris gave an interview to Rolling Stone magazine in 2017 and stated that she was sure that her father was killed and did not die from a drug overdose. Because it's obvious, all arrows point to that. It sounds like a total conspiracy theory, but all real fans and everybody in the family knows it. It was a setup. According to Paris, many wished for the death of her father, and he told her about his fear of being killed. Do you believe in such conspiracy theories? Share your opinion in the comments. Of course, we would all like Michael to live a long, happy life in which there would not be so many scandals and suffering. Even though he was in terrible pain during his last days, Michael sacrificed himself so as to not disappoint the fans. And that's why we all love him so much. He was a great musician and performer, and that is how he will be remembered by millions. We hope this video answers all of your questions, and if you want to know more true stories about your idols, click on the video that appeared on the screen and watch our other videos. We try to find out only verified information. It was Biographer Express. See ya.